Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at a new product from AK Interactive. It's their Real Color Acrylic markers. These markers are marketed for plastic, resin, metal, and wood surfaces. Resistant to water and heat, they can be applied in layers like model paint. When AK reached out to me regarding this product, my mind immediately went to a few projects I've been working on. Not only for World War II, but even for Necromunda. So stay tuned with me and you'll see a non-professional use these markers for the first time. Well, they say first impressions are everything, right? Well, that's what you're going to see today. I'm going to unbox and use these things for the very first time. I'm going to compare and contrast how well it works against my normal painting techniques, and by the end of the video, I hope to help you make an informed decision on if these products would be a cool tool to have in your arsenal. A quick disclaimer, while AK sent me these products to use and review, I'm not obligated to say anything about them. In addition, we're going to learn together firsthand as these boxes haven't been opened until now. Our first project that we're going to test some of these markers on is a Jagd Panther from the Flames of War range. It's a 15mm tank. I have based the model in a Dunkelgelb kind of a scheme, and I'll be using our first color, which is the Olive Grun RAL 6003. As I first put the marker onto the miniature, it has really good flow to it, and I'm not sure if flow is the right word. It just really comes out very well. You'll see as I drag the marker across nooks and crannies that it will easily fill those spots. You can kind of work your way into them. The paint just really comes to the tip well and goes to the surface very well. The camo style that I'm going for on this tank in particular is going to be the ambush style of camo, and there's really no rhyme or reason that I can find at least for why camo was what it was. So we're going to just work our way around this model, making some random stripes, but you can see that this has gone down really, really well. This is just a single passing with the paint. You can layer this up, obviously, and I did find that it dries very quickly as well. As I work my way to the back here, you're going to see where I get close to the tracks, and it was actually easy to just kind of poke around in there and get the paint to go where it needs to go. So overall, I was really impressed with this. If you're someone that struggles with brush control, then this is certainly going to help. Now when it comes to camo, obviously you don't need a lot of brush control, but you're going to see in a moment when we go through and apply the dot type of patterns that it is a lifesaver in my opinion. Things like the ambush pattern as well as maybe P-dot pattern on 28mm probably just got a lot easier. And while we are using this at a 15mm scale, this can obviously be applied to 28mm bolt action. I look forward to using that on some of my tanks as well once I get them assembled. Okay, with the green done, let's go over to the next color that was in this pack. This is Rotbraun. This is a red-brown type of color, and you can buy these in packs of 3s if you're wanting to get the German camo, German interior vehicles. They make a lot of different packs. I recommend visiting their website to see everything that they have to offer. Much like the green, the brown goes down in a very similar fashion. Again, very consistent. It goes over the green well. You'll find that these colors, they just kind of go right over each other, which I also thought was very nice. And again, back to the flow, if that's what you want to call it, of this paint off the tip. I'm going to go over the track right here, and again, you'll be able to see that this paint can work its way down into the nooks and crannies, which I think is very good. This is going to save, I think, a lot of time for someone that is just looking to get their tanks painted up quickly and on the table. So after just one pass with the marker, you can tell I think it's got really good coverage. And we are going to move through to dotting this up with the RAL 7028, which is the Dunkelgelb. Now the green has had longer to dry, but this stuff is really fast. I found that it dried in just a few seconds. This is what I really like about these markers, is it just makes going through and doing camo like this so easy and kind of satisfying at the same time. I don't find myself having to dip my brush in paint and make sure that the consistency's right or any of that. I can just go around placing the dots wherever I want and move on. Again, if you're looking to do P-dot camo or something like that at 28 scale for infantry, I think this would help you out a lot. The tip is pretty sharp at the end, and while I think it works great for 15 mil tanks, I don't know if it would work so well for 15 mil infantry. That is something that I did not try. Up next, I go back to the brown and just add in some dots there, and I will also do the same thing for green. Now these paints are going to be available in 34 colors. They are priced in euro on their store, and they're about $1.95. I think that's pretty good. The packs that I showed you are priced at $5.85. And again, there's a ton of those to look at as well. So I don't know if people find camoing tanks as therapeutic as I do. I really enjoy it, and these markers have been very pleasant to use. For how much paint is actually in these things, I'm not so sure of that. So that is something that you'll just have to try on your own. Okay, it has literally been seconds since I applied all of these dots onto the model. I'm going to take a brown wash, and we're immediately going to hit this thing and really make it pop. So I'm going on with my brown wash. It is a little thick, so I'm going to spread that out, but you can see that there's absolutely no run whatsoever on the camo colors. Again, I noticed this product was extremely fast drying, so once it goes on, it's pretty good. So you can tell the wash really doing its job here, getting in all of the nooks and crannies and really kind of dulling the overall scheme down. And it really, I just think, brings the camo scheme to life. When I was going through this and I got to this moment, I thought, wow, this looks really good, and it was really, really simple and easy to do and really fast. We take a look at the finished product. I would obviously go through and hit this with a dry brush afterwards to kind of bring everything into a bit of that dusty weathering kind of a look. We're going to leave this for now, let this wash dry, and we're going to do the tracks in a minute, but we're going to move on to another project that I wanted to try out. And the next thing I wanted to try out was this Fallschirmjäger that I recently ordered from Warlord Games. I want to try just a basic camo scheme on his smocks. And again, just starting with that brown, I'm going to go through and just try to make a irregular type of camo pattern. I have went ahead and base coated this with a khaki color, but you could probably use the marker to color it on there if you really wanted to. Again, it's the same result. It goes down very smooth and fast drying, and I'm going to repeat this process using the green. I will once again give this model a brown wash, and I'm going to put him to the side to dry, and we'll come back and look at the finished result. But it's going to be very similar. This was a very fast way to throw on camo. If you're struggling with brush control and prefer using a pen, this is certainly an option to consider. Okay, up next I wanted to try these things for graffiti, and they do have some red, yellow, white, black type colors, and I'm going to try to make the interactive logo. I absolutely suck at freehand. My brush control isn't that good. I'm not so good with edge highlighting, and I'm just going to try to trace out, I guess, what the basic shape of this logo is and try to fill it in. This worked so much better than using paint. or I should say the traditional painting method. I just felt like that I had so much more control of what was going on, and at the end I could try to paint what I just did with this pen, and I can guarantee that it will not come out the same. So after I got that outline done, I just went in with the red, and I'm going to bring in yellow as well, just to try all of the colors out. But just going in and filling that in, very easy to do. These paints go over each other extremely well, so if you needed to touch up the white or anything like that, it would go right back over the red without any problems. So if you're a fan of speed, highly recommend these. When I actually use just traditional acrylic painting methods, these logos and things like this can take a lot of time, and it takes multiple coats. So this has been a massive time saver. I'm a huge fan of using it for this. The next project I'm going to look at is just some simple tank markings, and the decals that I got with this set really just disintegrated in the water, and I still wanted the tank markings to be on there. This is a 15mm scale, so you can see that you can make some pretty tight lines with the tip of this brush. I do spill over a little bit here where I'm not supposed to, but that would be easy to clean up with just a regular acrylic paint or even another marker if you were using one of those. So I think I probably could have done this a little neater. The way I was trying to hold it to get it on the camera, I was kind of struggling to get the angle right. So could probably do a better job if I wasn't filming right here. Now moving back to that Yogg Panther, I just wanted to try this out. I think I would use just traditional paint when doing the tracks because you can water it down and really get it into the nooks and crannies, but if you were nuts, I did just want to show you that these markers do go into nooks and crannies pretty well. I didn't want to start poking and prodding it in there because I don't want to damage the tip. I want to try to keep the tip as fine as possible. But if you wanted to do tracks or something like that, you could, although I wouldn't recommend it. You could use the marker to get onto the insides right here, which is a place that I commonly will overspill onto wheels or something else that I've already painted. This is the flat black that I'm going over this with. I think this would also be really good for road wheels, especially for American vehicles and things that, where wheels had rubber on them or things like that. I do go back and get this with dark aluminum, and it really pops out, almost like that dry brush of silver that you'll do on your tracks. But in this example right here, those places where you really have to kind of poke a brush in and sometimes overspill, I think it worked really well just to quickly go in and get paint in there. And then again, I'll take this dark aluminum. I pretty much immediately go over the tracks with it, and it worked out really well. So at this point, I really did this tank in 10 minutes or something like that, and I was really just blown away by how cool it looked, how quick it was to do. And I think this is just a really good product. I think it's going to have a place in my arsenal for sure. I'm very thankful that AK reached out and provided me with some of these markers to try out and use. I do hope you've gleaned some information from this video and whether or not these markers would be a good fit for you as well. I will put a link down below to AK's website. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. So you can do your own research, and I'm sure there'll be more videos that are popping up on YouTube here in the near future. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.